Today, I'm going to be discussing several rare and/or expensive Xbox 360 games that you should never buy at their current book value. Now, most of the games I'm going to be discussing today aren't necessarily bad games. Most of them are just average games that are pretty overpriced in my opinion. In no particular order, the first game I want to look at is Ratatouille.
That's a rap, dude! Nah, it ain't. That's a Ratatouille, yo.
The current average value for a CIB copy on Pricecharting is currently $23. Something that this game is just not worth. This is definitely a bottom of the barrel bargain bin licensed shovelware game in my opinion. Now, I would like to note that I have heard that the last gen version is leaps and bounds better than the Xbox 360 version. I personally cannot confirm or deny that, but the Xbox 360 version is just definitely a licensed shovelware game for sure. Now, I do think that THQ, the developers, were trying to really show off what they could do with a 3D platformer on the 360, which is one of the reasons that this game is so bad versus the last gen version being considered much better, because basically this is a very tedious game. You know, like platformers are generally pretty chill for the most part, and this one just has some really tedious mini games, some really tedious controls. It's way harder than a kid's 3D platformer should be, in my opinion. And again, from what I've been told, the last gen version is a lot more standard, a lot more cut and paste, and in this scenario, that actually turns out to be the better thing. $23. Ratatouille just is not worth it. Now, that being said, I actually paid $35 for this one, so I paid above the current book value, but oh well, Ratatouille is just not worth it. Now, the next game on today's list is Bodycount. This one has a current book value, complete in box, on Pricecharting of about $30. I don't know what is up with this game. You know, this was like a pretty cheap game that you could pick up for a long time, and here more recently, for some reason it's just exploded in popularity and value. You know, this went from being like a $5 game to a $30 game, and it's just a above average, or maybe even an average first-person shooter. The story's not really that good. You know, the gun plays okay, the game plays okay. This game did have a couple neat standout features to it. It does graphically look pretty good, but the story is trash. Now, this one does have multiplayer, and I think the servers are still up. You're just not going to find anyone playing it. Again, I don't really know why this one just perked up in value. I've seen a few other people talk about Bodycount. It's just like, why is this game suddenly so much more expensive than it used to be? I don't know. Now, I paid like $5 for a European copy, but American copies are definitely pretty pricey for what this game is. And if you are going to buy this one, buy a European copy. Again, this one isn't a bad game. It's just like, it's not a $30 game, especially when you consider that something like Black Ops 2 is only like $20, and Black Ops 2 is so much better than Bodycount. It's like, why is Bodycount so expensive? I don't know. If you see this one at a garage sale for like $5, grab it, but don't pay $30 for it. Now, for this next game, Tornado Outbreak. This is a Konami game. It's decent at best. $70. This is actually the most expensive game on my list. Tornado Outbreak. I'm even more flabbergasted about this one than I am with Bodycount. Like $70 for Tornado Outbreak. It's a decent 4-hour game. I don't know what has made this one just skyrocket in price. I got it for $5 digitally before the 360 store closed, and I'm thankful that I sure didn't pay $70 for it. This is not a $70 game. I want to say it was a budget title when it released, and like graphically it looks like a Wii game, and obviously graphics aren't everything, but this is certainly not a graphically impressive game. The story to it was okay. You know, the gameplay to it was kind of like Katamari, I believe. You know, you're basically a tornado. You go around just destroying everything and trying to get as big as possible. it is not a $70 game. I mean, again, it's like a 4 or 5 hour, it's like a 4 to 5 hour game. You know, it's not even something like Skyrim where you're gonna play it for 200 hours. It's like 5 hours and you're done. And it's $70 CIB, and loose copies are pretty expensive too. I don't know why this one is so expensive, and there is going to be a recurring theme in this video because there are quite a few Konami games on this list, but Tornado Outbreak, $70, great Scott, don't, no. Now, the fourth game on today's list, it kind of pains me to put on this list because it's actually one of my favorite games on the Xbox 360, and that is Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. Now, this one is here for a bit of a odd reason. It's currently going for about $33 CIB on average, and I consider this to be one of the crown jewels of my collection because not a lot of these copies were actually made, and I love this game. But the thing is, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate is basically the last-gen version of Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, which was put on the PS4 and the Xbox One. And you can actually get the game for free on modern consoles. Now that being said, you won't be able to access like the story mode and all of the characters, but there is a free version of this game on next-gen consoles. And also, just base Dead or Alive 5 on the 360 is pretty cheap. So Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate is really only a game to get if you're a really big Dead or Alive fan. If you're a more casual Dead or Alive fan, you know, you'll play it like once in a blue moon. This is not a game I would recommend paying $33 for. Now, if you're a big Dead or Alive fan like I am, this game is definitely worth picking up, but again, if you're just a more casual Dead or Alive fan, if you don't care about like having the DLCs or the extra characters or whatnot, just get base DOA 5, which is a lot cheaper, or just get this game on next-gen consoles. Again, I think this is a great game, but it's only really for a very specific group of people, being the more hardcore Dead or Alive fans and I guess collectors. But if you're, let's just say you've never played Dead or Alive before and you kind of just want to dip your toe in the water, don't get DOA 5 Ultimate because of its higher price. Get Dead or Alive 5, and if you like Dead or Alive 5 enough, then look into getting DOA 5 Ultimate. This is a great game again, but you shouldn't pick it up unless you're a big DOA 5 fan who just really wants to play Last Round on a last-gen console. Now, for the number 5 game on today's list, Silent Hill HD Collection. This one is going for $55 complete in box. No, this is a disgrace to everything that is Silent Hill, and for $55, I don't know why people are buying this. I guess this is mostly collectors. I mean, you can get this game digitally for $30. It is backwards compatible, and is currently $10 on sale at the time of my recording. Now, that being said, the sale will probably be over by the time I actually publish this video, but my point is, you can get this game for $10. It does regularly go on sale, and is backwards compatible. You can play it on next-gen consoles, and there is a way to still download backwards compatible games on your 360 if you want to play it via original hardware. Now, of course, I am not saying that the Silent Hill games themselves are bad. I'm not saying that Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3 are bad, but this demaster, I'm not calling this a remaster, this is a demaster, is a absolute, oh my goodness, it is a mess. And it's not helped by the fact that I'm not the biggest Silent Hill fan. You know, I'm like, okay, Silent Hill, you know, there's some good games in the series, but I'm not a huge fan. But this is like, do not pick this up. You know, I wouldn't even pick this one up $10 on sale unless that is the only way that you can experience these games. Like Silent Hill 3, oh my goodness, it is broken. I gave up trying to play Silent Hill 3 on this because so many times, okay, I would be on a level and I would be trying to figure out what the objective is. I'd be like, okay, I think this is it. Then I would go to this place and I would do this thing. Okay, and the game would be like, nope, that's not what you gotta do. And and I'd be like, huh, okay, well I thought that's what I was supposed to do, I guess not. So I would wander around the level for like an hour, and eventually come back to where I thought I was supposed to go. I would try that exact same thing again, and it wouldn't work. So again, I would just wander around the level, absolutely clueless, absolutely flabbergasted, and eventually I would just cave and look up a tutorial. And the tutorial would say, oh yeah, that thing you already tried twice, that's what you're supposed to do. And on countless occasions, I got soft locked on Silent Hill 3. This game is broken. You can't play it. Like, you are better off not playing Silent Hill 2 and 3 than buying the Silent Hill HD collection. And for $55, great Scott, go buy something else. Like, this is not worth it. If you are bound and determined to buy this one, get it digitally on sale, but do not buy Silent Hill HD Collection for $55. And this is another Konami game, by the way, and the next game is also a Konami game, Rumble Roses Double X. Now, Rumble Roses Double X is currently going for $50 CIB, and this game's okay. You know, I'm not here to trash talk Rumble Roses, but one of the biggest reasons that this one is on the list is because it's just a decent game in my opinion, and you can get it digitally for $15, and is currently on a half-off sale for $7.50. And this is kind of just this is just a decent wrestling game. You know, it's not amazing. It's not, you're not going to walk away with your whole life changed after playing this game. It's just decent. Now, there is quite a bit of content in this game, but again, you can get it digitally for $15 or wait for a sale and get it for $7.50. $50 for a decent wrestling game. That's just not really worth it. I mean, the gameplay's okay, the story isn't really there, the progression system is kind of weird in my opinion. Not a $50 game, get this one digitally. Now, for the number 7 spot, this is yet another Konami game, Silent Hill Homecoming. This is one of the cheaper games on today's list, coming in at $22. This game is okay, you know, I did beat it. The gameplay's okay, the story is absolutely abysmal, the performance isn't the best, but the reason this one is really on the list is because this game is $20 digitally, which is almost the exact same price of getting it CIB physically. But this one does frequently get some pretty deep discounts. I've seen it on sale for as low as like $3. Right now it's on sale for $5. And I wouldn't spend $22 getting Silent Hill Homecoming, or even $20. Wait for a sale on this one. Now, this is, in my opinion, the best Silent Hill game on the Xbox 360, although that's not really saying a lot. Again, the combat's okay, the story is absolute crap and just full of plot holes. The performance isn't great. Again, this is just an average game in my opinion. Wait for a sale. Alright, at the number 8 spot, another Konami game. We have Lollipop Chainsaw at Home, aka Blades of Time. Oh my, this is like one of the worst hack and slashes I think I've ever played. The gameplay is kind of confusing, and this game is all over the place. Like, I really wish Blades of Time had just stuck to being a hack and slash, and that was it. You know, they try to throw in some third-person shooter elements and some weird time-altering powers. I couldn't get into this one, you know, it does look okay graphically. The gameplay, the hack and slash gameplay is okay. The story isn't really there. Again, we have Lollipop Chainsaw at Home. That's pretty much what Blades of Time is. This one is going for $25 CIB on Pricecharting. Now, if you do happen to be into PC gaming, this one regularly gets very deep discounts on Steam. So if you're into PC gaming and Xbox gaming, maybe try this one on PC if you really want to play it. It's not the worst thing out there, but for $25, you can definitely buy some better games. Now, for the number 9 spot, I might tick some people off here, but I'm giving this one to Wet. I know a lot of people consider this to be a hidden gem. It's a bit of a cult classic. I don't think it's a bad game by any means. It's currently going for $33 CIB. I just don't think it's really worth that kind of money. I paid $10 for a German copy, and that's a pretty fair price for this game. You know, I don't hate this game. It's decent, you know, I don't actively dislike it. This one's kind of just, you know, for 33 bucks, I think that's a bit too steep. Again, German copies are pretty expensive. I paid like $10 for a German copy that does play in English, thankfully. But wet, you know, 33 bucks. Yeah, if you're really big into this kind of game, you know, it might be worth it. But for me, just get a German copy. Alright, for the number 10 spot, we have a third-person shooter, which is Bulletwitch. This is a early third-party Xbox exclusive. It was published by Atari. It is currently going for $45 CIB. This one's okay. You know, it's not an awful game. It's not great either. It's certainly not a $45 game in my opinion. And this one is also on Steam. You can get it much cheaper there. Now, I can't remember what country my copy is from. I got a foreign copy, and it was overall pretty cheap because like the case was damaged. But for 45 bucks, the Bulletwitch is not worth it. You know, maybe if this was more like 20, I paid like $25 for a copy CIB with some slight damage to the case. The $25 is a bit fairer. 45 Bulletwitch is not worth it. Now, I mean, if you're a huge Atari fan, you know, maybe check this one out as a bit of their history. But yeah, 45 bucks, this one's kind of just overpriced in my opinion. Now, for the number 11 spot, we have Shellshock 2 Blood Trails. This is one of the cheapest games. Actually, this is the cheapest game on today's list, going for $20 CIB. Now, this is a very interesting one in that I actually love Shellshock 2. I think it is a great game under a very specific set of circumstances. So this is a survival horror FPS, and this game is great if you play it at night with the lights off on max difficulty. If you do that, this game is great. But if you're trying to play this game on like easy or something, it's really boring. It's an absolute snoozer. And the graphics are pretty bad on this one. Like, I'm not going to try and hide that. The graphics are pretty bad on Shellshock 2, but I think that this does help the game as a survival horror game. And also, this is a pretty clunky game, and it does have a pretty choppy frame rate at times, but I think that this does kind of help it as a survival horror game. You know, I admit that I am a little bit weird for kind of liking this one. I do think it is a great survival horror game. But if you're buying this one thinking it's going to be like Left 4 Dead or COD Zombies, you're going to be pretty disappointed. Only buy this one if you want a survival horror experience, and in that case, like I said, play it on max difficulty at night alone with the lights off, and it's a great game. But if you're playing it looking for something like Left 4 Dead, hard pass on this one. And I do apologize if my voice volume is kind of changing a little bit. I am kind of moving around in my seat a little bit. I'll try to iron things out while I am editing. Anyways, for the next several games, I no longer own copies of them, so I can't show footage from the games themselves, but I will try to show some footage from similar games. And the first game here, the number 12 spot, is Sonic 06, aka Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm probably going to put on some footage from Sonic Adventure. That is a much better game, but Sonic 06, this one's currently going for $23 CIB. Oh my goodness, this is a disgrace to everything Sega. Now, this game does have a crazy development story behind it, how Sega of Japan was just like, get this game out, rush it, hurry, 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 hurry. And it definitely showed in Sonic 06. The game is just broken, the loading times are insane, the graphics aren't even that great. Sonic 06, it is a massive stinker. It is not worth $23, it's not worth $13, it is worth $3, especially when you consider that on the Xbox 360, you can digitally get Sonic Adventure for $5. and Sonic Adventure is so much better than Sonic 06. Sonic 06 is just abysmal. It is a disgrace to Sega. Now, coming in as the number 13 game on today's spot, we have Silent Hill Downpour, which is going for $64 CIB. I kind of love how every Silent Hill game on the Xbox 360 is just considered to be a bad game by a lot of the Silent Hill community. Downpour was my introduction to the series, and oh my goodness, that was a mistake. A buddy of mine who's a big Silent Hill fan, I was talking to him about it, and I was like, yeah, I have Downpour, and he was like, bro, everything after Silent Hill 4 was a downpour. Now, this game, it is not a $64 game, that's for sure. The graphics aren't the best. You know, the performance isn't the best. The story is actually pretty good in my opinion. I do actually like the story, and there is a graphic novel companion book about one of the characters that was pretty interesting to look at. I didn't read the whole thing, but I did have it at one point. But we're not here to talk about the comic book. We are here to talk about the game. The gameplay is absolute trash. $64. This is one of the most expensive games on today's list. It is not worth no $64. I played the first few chapters and it was just so bad I could not finish it. The gameplay is awful. Now again, I do think that the story of this one's actually pretty good. My advice for Silent Hill Downpour, just go online and look up the story. If you really want to experience Silent Hill Downpour, that's the best way to do it. Just look up the story. The story's great, the gameplay's awful. Don't pay $64 for this one. Now, for the number 14 spot, we have Neverdead. This one is going $25 CIB. I think this one was published by Konami as well and developed by Rebellion, I think. I'll probably just have some footage of like a lollipop chainsaw in the background because again, I no longer own this game. Oh my goodness, it is awful. The gameplay is just absolutely horrendous. I thought it was really, really clunky, really, really stiff. I mean, this game did have some cool ideas, but it was just, it could not pull off on them. Now, for the number 15 game, this is the last game on today's list. I'm probably going to ruffle some feathers with that one, and that is Peter Jackson's King Kong, going for $50 CIB. This was a launch title for the 360. I don't think this is a bad game, but I've seen a lot of people say that the last gen version is better. I couldn't really get into this one. The gameplay's okay. Now, the movie's great. You know, Peter Jackson's King Kong, that's a great movie. But I think the biggest reason I put this one on here is because the game is just decent in my opinion, and the last gen versions are so much cheaper. You know, and I've heard a lot of people say that they prefer the last gen version of Peter Jackson's King Kong, and the last gen version is just so much cheaper. It's kind of like, if you have an original Xbox, maybe check out the original Xbox version instead of spending $50 on the 360 version. Now obviously, if you're a collector, I would call this a essential game because it was one of the first games to ever release on the 360, but $50 is pretty steep in my opinion. Now, I do have a couple honorable mentions, the first one being Fatal Inertia. I myself have never played this one, so I can't actually comment on it. It's going for $42 CIB. I've heard a lot of people say it's just a middle-of-the-road racing game that you can beat in like 2 hours and that it is not worth buying for more than just a couple of dollars. Now, my other honorable mention is a game called Blood Drive. Now, this one is neither rare, nor expensive, nor collectible. It's currently going for $12 CIB. I kind of just put this one on here because I got ripped off and paid $27 for a loose copy. Massive mistake. And now this game's going for $12 CIB, and I'm like, really? Really? So yeah, those are just some honorable mentions there. And yeah, some rare and more expensive Xbox 360 games that you should never buy at book value. Now, like I said, a lot of these games aren't really bad. They're more of just decent and maybe overpriced. But I would like to know your thoughts down in the comments, and this is just my opinion. You know, we're all different. Feel free to disagree with me. It's totally cool if you disagree. And yeah, if you cannot tell, this video was not scripted. I do have some notes, but not a full script. And for those new here, I mostly review and discuss Xbox 360 games, so feel free to subscribe if that sounds interesting, and follow me on GameRam for hints at upcoming vids and behind the scenes stuff. Now, as far as our Bible verse of the day, I read Romans 6:12 NIV. Therefore, do not let sin reign in your mortal body so that you obey its evil desires. And like always, none of my content is ever made by AI, and I do not consent for my voice and likeness to be modified, copied, and altered by AI in any way. I'm thirsty. This has been a pretty long audio, so thanks if you stuck around to the end. God bless, and peace. The current average... Now,